Yo, what's up guys, it's King Sean here, and in today's video, I'll be bringing you guys my official preview video for Sunday's game between the Commanders and the Titans. Y'all know how these videos work. I give y'all the injury report first, followed by my keys to victory, and then finally, I'll give you guys my final score prediction for Sunday's game. So, if you guys are new to my channel, leave a like down below, subscribe, and turn on notifications, and other than that, let's get straight into today's video. Starting off with the injury report, we're going to make this quick. Eckler and Wiley are out. Not a surprise. Eckler didn't practice all week long, and Wiley was limited on Thursday and Friday. However, he's going to be out, so him practicing somewhat this week probably tells us that the concussion isn't too serious. However, still not going to play this week, but will definitely be back after the bye. And then Marshawn Lattimore, limited all week, practiced in some capacity. Quinn said that he is trending. He's getting closer to playing. However, he's listed as doubtful, which basically means that he's not going to play. He's most likely not going to play. Unless tomorrow he feels a little better, they upgrade him to questionable, and then he actually has a shot of playing on Sunday. Otherwise, he's probably not going to play on Sunday versus the Titans, and he will most likely return after our bye week. After our bye week, he should be 100% healthy, or maybe not 100% healthy, but like 95% healthy. He will most likely be back after the bye because with the way Quinn sounded this week about, him progressing through the injury, it sounds like he's going to be back after the bye week, but they just want one more week, or I guess 2 more weeks, including the bye week, for him to get healthier, and he'll most likely play versus the Saints Week 15, which will be when he makes his debut. And then everybody else, Cleveland Farrell, Nick Allegretti, Noah Brown, Dante Fowler Jr., Noah Igbenogany, and Jordan McGee, and Brian Robinson Jr. are all good to go. And then as for the Titans, everybody on here is good. Like, everybody's good besides Leroy Watson and Chidobe Awuzie. They are the 2 guys that was ruled out. Chidobe Awuzie, he just got his window opened, so they probably just wanted to ramp him up this week and then bring him back maybe in a week or 2. And then Leroy Watson, I think that's one of their backup tackles, so he don't really matter too much, but he's going to be out as well. And then Tyjae Spears, he's questionable. However, I expect him to play. He was full on Thursday and on Friday today, so I think he's going to be good to go. Moving on to keys to victory. Key to victory number 1 for the offense: get back to business. And I said it last week, and they did not get back to business. So I'm saying it again. Get back to business. And y'all know what that means. Weeks 1 through 9 or weeks 1 through 10, this offense was looking like a top 5 offense. These past 3 games or these past 2 games, they've been looking like a bottom 5 offense. It has been bad over the past 2 games, the Eagles game and the Cowboys game, man. We've been starting off slow on offense. We can't finish drives with touchdowns, mainly field goals, and we can't even get into field goal range a lot of times. We can't convert on 3rd downs. We were like 1 for 13 at some point versus the Eagles. So it's just been bad on offense, and we just got to get back to what we were doing weeks 1 through 10, getting the ball out of Jaden's hands quickly, spacing our guys out more, running shorter routes. Like, a lot of the routes I've seen us run over the past 2 games have been long developing routes. Where's the quick game at? Where are the out routes? Where are the slants? Like, where's the quick game at? I just don't understand all the different route concepts we've seen over the past 2 games from Cliff, man. And the second half Cliff narrative, it's real. It's a real thing. Didn't really want to buy into it, but after the Dallas game, it's a very much so real thing, because the fact that we couldn't get our offense going until the second half of the 4th quarter is just insane, right? Absolutely insane. So we got to get back to doing business, like, on offense. We got to get back to business on. We got to get back to business on offense. Like I just stated, go back to quick game, run the ball more efficiently and effectively, all that good stuff. Got to do a better job of protecting up front, which we'll get to in a second for the second key to victory. But yeah, man, everybody got to get back on track on offense. The receivers, Jaden himself, he looked better versus the Cowboys, but still want to see Jaden from weeks 1 through 10 back this week and from here on out. And Cliff, man, the second half narrative is a real thing. You got to be able to adjust to the different looks defenses are giving you. How will you adjust? We shall see. But yeah, that is key to victory number 1 for me. Get back to business on offense. Key to victory number 2 for the offense. Protect Jaden Daniels and protect the ball. We have not done a great job of protecting Jaden over the past 3 weeks. Steelers game, Cowboys game, and the Eagles game. And yeah, our O-line was a little beat up in the Steelers game and in the Eagles game. Got 10 days of rest before the Cowboys, and they still looked bad versus the Cowboys. Yeah, they have Micah Parsons on one side of the field, and they do occasionally move him inside to pass rush through the inside. But still, man, the Cowboys' defensive line still isn't elite, and we just did not give Jaden a bunch of time in the pocket most plays, and we have to do better. We have to do a better job of that. We have to do a better job of that. We've been getting dominated in the trenches on both sides of the ball, defensive line and O-line, and we got to do a better job of protecting Jaden. He got sacked, I want to say, 4 times versus Dallas, although 3 of those were on the drive where Jaden just ran out of bounds on the right side 3 straight times in a row. And the one real sack, I think Trent Scott got cooked by Micah Parsons, or one of our interior O-linemen got cooked by Micah Parsons and took Jaden down for a sack. But versus the Steelers and in the Eagles, they were getting killed. I'm pretty sure Nolan Smith had a sack. Jalen Carter, I think he had a sack, or he was just bullying us up front. And the Steelers, Alex Highsmith, he had a sack. Cam Hayward, he had a sack. So yeah, man, we got to do a better job of protecting Jaden. And the Titans got guys on that D-line who can get to the quarterback. Harold Landry, Arden Key, Tavondre Sweat. He's a really good run-stopping defensive tackle. And obviously they got Jeffrey Simmons, who's an absolute demon of a defensive tackle. So we got to be aware of those guys, and we have to do a better job of protecting Jaden. And also, don't give the ball up. Jaden had 2 interceptions versus the Cowboys. We had 3 total turnovers in that game with the John Bates fumble. We've done a good job overall of taking care of the ball this year, but we have to do a better job of it because as of late, we have given the ball up a good amount. So that's key to victory number 2. And then my last key to victory for the offense, feed 1-7. Feed 17. Feed Terry McLaurin. It is inexcusable that he's only getting 6 targets a game. Right now, and let me pull up his stats real quick because his stats on this year, he is 4th in receiving yards right now. And let me pull up his exact stats right here if I can find them. Terry McLaurin has 53 receptions for 823 yards and 7 touchdowns, and he only has 74 targets on the year. Jamar Chase already has over 100 targets on the year, and he's playing alongside T. Higgins. Terry McLaurin is playing alongside Noah Brown. Terry should already be over or close to 100 targets, and yet he only has 74. Why is Noah Brown getting double-digit targets? He had 11 or 12 targets versus Dallas last week. How many did Terry have? I think Terry only had 5 or 6. Unbelievable. We need to do a better job of getting Terry McLaurin the ball, and we've talked about this for years now under Eric Bieniemy. Scott Turner, I feel like, did do a pretty solid job of getting Terry the ball, but there were some games where he didn't do a good job of getting Terry the ball. And sometimes you got to credit the defense, but other times, man, there are opportunities for you to get Terry McLaurin the ball. Last night, Malik Neighbors had 13 or 14, maybe even 15 targets. He's the Giants' only receiving weapon, really. I mean, Darius Slayton's good too, but Malik Neighbors is really the Giants' only legit weapon, only elite weapon, and they still got him the ball. You would think the Cowboys would be double-teaming him, triple-teaming him, guarding him at all times, and yet they still managed to get him the ball. Still managed to get him double-digit targets. Terry should have 8 to 10 targets on average every single game. And the fact that he only got 5 or 6 versus Dallas, unbelievable. And Trayvon Diggs was out. Jaden and Cliff need to do a better job of getting Terry the ball. And there's been times where Terry's open. Jaden just doesn't look his way. Doesn't see him. Also, Cliff, you got to do a better job of getting Terry open. Run some quick stuff with Terry. Out route, slants, curls. Like, we need to do a better job of getting Terry the ball, and it's on Cliff and Jaden Manley. And getting Terry the ball, you saw, when we lined him up on the right side of the field versus Dallas, 85-yard touchdown. Can't line Terry up on the left side of the field 90% of the time in games. Can't do that because a defense can just line up their number one corner on that side, double team Terry. They'll know where Terry goes all the time on the left side of the field. So makes it easier for them to take him away. So we have to do a better job of getting Terry the ball, and that is one of the most important keys to victory for this game. Moving on to defensive keys to victory. Key to victory number 1 for the defense, stop the run. We still had quite a struggle stopping the run versus Dallas. We didn't give up like a whole bunch of yards. However, Rico Dowdle still had 19 carries for 87 yards in that game. That's about 4.5 yards per carry. We can't let that happen this week because Tony Pollard, he is a really good running back for the Titans. He's put up a couple of 100-yard rushing games this season. I think he had a really nice game versus the Texans last week. He is a dynamic back, and if you let him have a free space to run through, he's going to take it. He's going to go for a whole lot of yards. So we have to avoid letting up a whole bunch of yards to the Titans on the ground because it could get ugly. It starts with the run game. We've struggled all season long with stopping the run. Like I said, versus Dallas, didn't give up over 100 yards, but Rico Dowdle, who isn't a bad back, but he's definitely not one of the best backs in the league. He's definitely a below average running back, and yet we still let him go for 19 carries for 87 yards, and their O-line was beat up. Zach Martin was out. Tyler Smith was out. A couple other guys were beat up as well on the O-line. So we still let them go, or we still let Rico Dowdle go for a good game on the ground with several of their O-linemen either out or banged up. So it starts with stopping the run. I would say try to contain Tony Pollard to at least under 70 yards because I know our defense cannot stop the run. And if we can hold him to under 70 yards, then I feel like that would be really good. I feel like that would be a successful day at stopping the run or containing their run game. But once again, in order to stop this Titans offense, it's going to start with stopping the run game. Key to victory number 2, get pressure on Will Levis. Will Levis, he has looked better ever since he got benched, or I guess he was injured for a little while, and they just decided to play Mason Rudolph at quarterback. Basically, an unofficial benching. However, when he came back, he has started to look a little bit better. Not great or anything like that, but he has looked better. Versus the Vikings, he had a 98-yard touchdown pass. That's the longest touchdown from line of scrimmage at any point this season from any team in the NFL. So that's pretty cool right there. And then he had a pretty solid game versus the Texans last week. Now, he did throw a pick six. So, well, he did throw an interception that led to a pick six, which, was pretty bad. And he's going to give you several opportunities to get a turnover or two on him. And in order to do that, we have to get pressure on him. We have to make him uncomfortable because we saw last week versus the Texans, there were times where the Texans gave him a clean pocket. Well, his line gave him a clean pocket, and his O-line isn't great. J.C. Latham, he has had really good moments this year. However, he's also had some bad moments this year. So let's see if we can take advantage of him. But overall, his offensive line isn't that great, and we need to be able to get pressure on him. Now, last week against Dallas, our pass rush was really bad. Horrible, you can even say. Like I just stated a minute ago, that O-line was beat up, decimated. Tyler Smith was out. Zach Martin was out. A couple of the guys starting on that O-line that day was banged up. If we cannot get pressure on Will Levis this week, trust me, he's going to throw some dimes down the field. We need to make him uncomfortable because that's when the mistakes happen with him. He'll throw a dumb interception. He'll fumble the ball. But that won't happen if we do not make him uncomfortable, and that starts with getting pressure on him. I want to see Deron Payne step up. Didn't do anything last week. He had a sack, but really Cooper Rush was just trying not to throw the ball out of bounds, right? He wanted to keep the time running. Dorrance Armstrong, want to see you step up. Frankie Louvu in pass rush situations, want to see you step up. Dante Fowler Jr., Johnny Newton. I really want to see the interior defensive line step up. Payne, Fedarian Mathis, although he's really just a run-stopping defensive tackle, maybe he can get some action in the pass rush game. Johnny Newton. Those guys need to step up. We need to get pressure on Will Levis this week. And then key to victory number 3 is ball is life. As always, force turnovers. And I just said a minute ago, Will Levis will give you an opportunity to get a couple of turnovers on him. Whether that's 1, 2, or maybe even 3. He's turned the ball over 3 times in a game before in his short career thus far. And in order to get turnovers on him, we have to make him uncomfortable. We have to get pressure on him. And then after we do, or if we do, after we do that, we have to come away with the ball on turnovers. I want to see an interception this week. We saw a fumble last week. Bobby Wagner ripped it right from Rico Dowdles' hands, and that was a turnover for us, of course, counted as a fumble. Great play by Bobby Wagner. But we've been doing a pretty solid job of turning the ball over this past month, 2 months, maybe month and a half. We had 2 turnovers versus the Steelers, 1 versus the Giants, 1 versus the Bears. I think we also had 1 versus the Ravens. So we've done a pretty solid job of generating turnovers. However, we have to generate more, and we'll get the opportunity to this summer, or not this summer, sorry, this Sunday, because Will Levis, he will give you multiple opportunities to turn the ball over, and we have to take advantage of those opportunities. As for my final score prediction, I have us winning this game 23-21 after last week's loss versus Dallas. Honestly, anything can happen at this point, but this is a must-win game. You could say that every game remaining on our schedule is a must-win game, but if we lose Sunday's game, our season is over. Playoff hopes, dead, right? Starting off 7-2, allowed us to kind of go on this bad losing streak, although you never want to go on a 3-game losing streak. Our season's not dead. We're still 7-5. Obviously, losing to Dallas absolutely sucks, right? Losing 3 straight games absolutely sucks. But Sunday's game is an opportunity to get back on track. Now, last week was an opportunity to get back on track, and we didn't win that game. We have to win Sunday's game. And the Titans, although 3-8, they beat the Texans last week, could have given them a little bit of confidence coming into this game. So, can't let them beat them. Or we can't let them beat us, right? We cannot let them beat us. And, it's going to be a tough game, right? They have a really good defensive line, have a really good defense overall. They are giving up close to 27 points a game. However, their run defense is really good. Their pass defense is pretty solid. I think they picked off C.J. Stroud like once or twice last week. C.J. Stroud has been a little iffy lately, but they did pick him off once or twice last week. So they have an overall solid defense, but our offense still needs to get back to that top 5 version from week 1 to week 10. And I hope we do, right? 23 points may not suggest that. However, I want us to be able to move the ball downfield. We need to score points. We need to make adjustments. Cliff, I'm talking to you. Got to make adjustments, man. You got to move our receivers around, especially Terry. Cannot keep him on one side the entire game because it'll make your offense predictable and it'll make it easier for defenses to stop and contain Terry. So, got to get creative, right? Got to make adjustments. Jaden needs to be on point. Everybody on offense needs to be on point. And as for the defense, we know what the defense is, and we cannot put them in a situation to get a stop for us at the end of the game, right? But overall, just got to play good defense. So, yeah, man, I have us winning this game. Think it's going to be a very close game. Might be a very defensive game for the first couple of quarters, but once the fourth quarter comes, hopefully our offense will be able to pull away a little bit and score some points. So I was winning this game 23-21, and comment down below your score prediction and who you guys think will win this game. So that is it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave a like down below, subscribe, and turn on notifications. And other than that, it's been Kayshawn, and I'm out. Peace.